Peace. Today's mathematics is knowledge born, which is 1 and 9. And I wanted to take a moment to give some explanation on the process of taking things from knowledge to born, or born and things complete. Because as 5%ers, you may hear us say that, you got to take things from knowledge to born. You got to make things born complete and this, that, and the third. But a lot of times we don't really explain that process and how it works. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about processes and functions so that people get a very practical idea of how these principles function in their life. So, born represents the number 9. And when you take things from knowledge of born, you're taking things through stages or a process so that they're able to be manifested or they're able to be created. A woman typically goes through 9 months of pregnancy before she births a child. Now, in those 9 stages or in those 9 months, a woman has trimesters or 3 different phases that a woman goes through when it comes to birthing a child. That first trimester of a woman's pregnancy is considered the most critical and crucial because it is at this part of that process where the child's form is taking shape as well as the body systems. Now, when you have an idea, you also go through that process, and that first trimester stage of that idea is also critical and crucial because the form of that idea is taking shape as well as the systems that are going to be put in place in order to sustain that idea going through the next trimester stages, the same way that a child goes through those trimester stages. So the same way that women oftentimes don't share that they're pregnant during that first trimester stage because it's a very vulnerable and critical and crucial stage, you shouldn't be sharing your ideas in that first trimester stage either, because it is in that part of a woman's pregnancy where most miscarriages occur. It is also part of a person's process where most miscarriages of an idea occur, because again, that is when that idea is shaping and taking form just like a child, as well as the body organs or those systems that are put in place in order to sustain that child and that idea. Now, when you're looking at those 9 different steps in our supreme mathematics, that first trimester stage represents knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So when it comes to an idea, you have to consider what kind of impact will this idea have on man, woman, and child? Because that's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. What type of impact will this idea have on families as well as communities, neighborhoods, and my citizenry as a whole? A lot of times people don't think about that when they come up with an idea, but that is critical to the sustainability of an idea, considering the type of impact that it's going to have on man, woman, and child, on the family, on the communities, on the neighborhoods, on the citizenry. What are the components of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that are a part of the idea? That's the first trimester stage. Once you've gotten a clear idea of that, you move to the second trimester or the second stage of that idea, which is culture, power, and equality. So again, you have to assess the impact that your idea is going to have on the culture or the quality of life, not only in your household, but also in your community. What type of culture will this idea perpetuate? And as you oftentimes see with the type of ideas that people come up with, you can tell that they put no consideration into the type of culture that that idea is going to perpetuate, because a lot of it is to destroy culture. It's not divine culture. The other thing that's important to consider is what type of power dynamics or how will this idea empower others? Who will it empower? Will it put power in the wrong hands of the wrong people? That's something to consider about your idea. You can see sometimes people don't consider that. And equality. Is this idea going to be equitable? Is it going to bring about some sense of homeostasis or harmony amongst the human family members? If you have solidified those particular 3 principles when it comes to that second trimester of your idea, you can move into the next phase, which is God, build, or destroy, and born. Then when you're thinking about that idea, you have to think about, is this idea going to create good orderly direction or great orderly direction amongst the people? Will my idea help serve that purpose? Will it have that sense of integrity and legacy when it comes to the human family? Will it represent the divinity of who we are as original people? Because that puts us in a position to properly construct the type of reality that we would like to see. That's built. And remove the negativity or the things that don't really have a sense of sustainability when it comes to the divinity of us as a human family and as a people. So you have to ask yourself, does my idea represent godliness or God-centeredness? And does my idea properly build and destroy what is negative? Build positive, destroy the negative. And if you can answer those questions with a resounding yes, then you can see how this needs to be born. How these principles align with one another are stages that help you not only self-assess what you're invested in, but the necessity for this idea to exist, to be born. So that is a very simplistic way of looking at taking things from knowledge to born, or born in things complete. You go through a process of self-assessment. It's a self-diagnostic process. And you think about, are these principles in these stages or these trimesters aligned with why this idea needs to exist? So I will that this was inspiring, it was empowering, it was educational. It just gave those of you an overview on this whole idea of taking things from knowledge to born or born in things complete. The same way that a woman goes through that process of pregnancy where she gives birth to a child, our ideas go through that same process of inception to conception. And in order for us to conceptualize something, we have to go inside of ourselves in order to properly align principles that are evidence of the necessity for our idea in terms of it existing. And just like a woman has to go through that first trimester, which is critical and crucial to the development of that child, we all have to go through that first trimester that's critical and crucial to the development of our ideas. And that is when most miscarriages of ideas or children actually occur, because that idea or that child is taking form and body systems are developing that sustains that child's life through the next trimesters, just like our idea. So enjoy the rest of your day and peace.